Hi, come on in and let me show you this great house. You know, most home buyers walk into a home showing and immediately start picturing the furniture. Where does the TV go? How does it feel? But what if I told you the most important part of a showing has nothing to do with the kitchen, the paint colors, or the layout at all? Because there are exact questions you can ask at a home showing that will tell you almost everything you need to know about the house before you ever make an offer. And surprisingly, most buyers never even ask them. And I'll tell you why this matters so much. I've walked through hundreds of homes with buyers over the years, and I see the same pattern over and over again. We'll be standing in a beautiful kitchen, everyone's smiling and talking about the furniture and decor, and meanwhile, no one's asked a single question about the roof, the AC system, or what it actually costs to live there. Then 2 weeks later, those are the exact things that people are stressed about. Asking the right questions during the showing can literally be the difference between loving your home long-term, missing out on a better choice, or dealing with costly surprises after you move in. So today I'm going to walk you through the exact questions smart buyers ask during a showing, so nothing important gets overlooked. The first questions that you should always ask really have nothing to do with the finishes or upgrades. We get caught up in the minutia. Things like, why did the owners paint this room blue? Why does this door open that way? Or whatever it might be. When we really need to be finding out about the big ticket items. Ask how old the roof is. Ask how old the AC system is. Don't ask about the furnace. We don't have those in Florida. But ask about the water heater and the electrical panel. Is the sprinkler system on public or reclaimed water? These are the things you need to know. In Sarasota, these systems matter a lot for insurance, maintenance, of course, and long-term costs. And don't stop there. Ask if there have been any recent repairs, upgrades, or known issues with the home. I had a buyer once who absolutely loved the home. Great layout, great neighborhood, everything felt right. But during the showing, we asked about the AC and we found out it was original, almost 20 years old. Now that didn't kill the deal, but it completely changed how we approached the offer. We negotiated a little bit of credit up front instead of letting it become a surprise after the closing. That's how the power of asking the right questions early really matters. Next, you want to ask questions that might give you a little leverage and reveal something. How long has the home been on the market? Have there been any price reductions? A home that just hit the market is a very different situation than one that's been sitting for 60, 90, or even 120 days. Then ask if there's any insight to why the seller is moving. You won't always get a full answer, and oftentimes you don't get an answer at all. But even partial information helps. And sometimes the buyer's agent is quite a talker. I've seen buyers assume that a home must have something wrong because it's been sitting on the market for a long time. But one time, we looked at a home that had been listed for over 90 days. And when we asked the right questions, we learned that the seller had just moved out of state and was just about to greatly reduce it. That single conversation helped my buyer secure a much better deal. Not because the house was bad, but because the timing worked right in their favor. Now, this is one of the most overlooked parts of showing a home. Ask what the average monthly utility costs are. Ask if there are any energy efficient features in the home. Two homes can look nearly identical on paper, but cost very different amounts to live in. I've shown homes in similar price ranges with similar square footage, where one had nearly double the electric bill of the other. Things like older windows, poor insulation, or an inefficient AC that might even have some open ducts in the attic can quietly cost you hundreds of dollars every month. And while you're at it, make sure you ask about the HOA fees and the CDD fees, and what those fees actually cover. They might sound high, but sometimes they're a great deal with what they cover and what you might have spent individually on service providers. Now, this isn't about nitpicking, it's about understanding the true cost of ownership. Now, let's talk about the things that you can't see during a quick 20-minute showing. Ask about traffic patterns during morning and evening hours. Ask about noise levels. Ask how parking works for guests. And always ask if there are any nearby planned developments. Now, I've had buyers tour a home at noon on a Wednesday in the middle of the week and say, wow, this is a quiet area. Then they come back during rush hour and realize there's a school pickup line or a cut-through street that they've never noticed. The house didn't change, the timing did. And here in Florida, I always say, go by after a heavy rain to see how the drainage is. These questions can help you understand what living there can actually feel like day to day. Now, before you leave the showing, you should always ask a few questions that help you write a smarter offer. Are there any other offers on the table? Are disclosures available now that you can take a look at? What terms matter most to the seller? Price is only one piece of that puzzle. I've seen buyers lose out on homes that they loved because it's not that they didn't offer enough, but because they didn't understand what the seller actually cared about. So sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's flexibility, sometimes it's fewer contingencies. You never know, so it's good to ask. You only uncover that by asking the right questions before you write that offer. Now here's a simple tip that most buyers will overlook. After every showing, take a few notes or record a quick 60-second video recap right there on your phone. What you liked, what concerned you, what stood out, what other questions you might have had. I've had buyers swear that two homes were basically the same until they watched that recap video. Suddenly the differences were quite obvious. Now that clarity is huge when emotions start competing. Believe me, once you've been out all day, they all start to blend together, and you can start eliminating the ones that didn't make the final cut. Buying a home isn't about rushing or guessing. It's about asking the right questions before emotions take over. So let me ask you this. What's one question you wish you had asked during a home showing? One thing you wish you'd known about before you bought a home? Drop it in the comments below. Your experience might help another buyer avoid a costly mistake. And if you're thinking about moving to Sarasota or anywhere here along the Suncoast and you want help navigating showings the right way, reach out anytime by phone, text, or email. Or schedule a free Zoom call in my calendar below here where we can chat about your home buying needs and how I can help you eliminate wasted time and make sure you're asking the right questions and getting the house that really meets your needs. For Living and Buying in Sarasota, I'm Rob Rovnak. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.